So I just got laid off. Am I happy from finally being relieved from abusive work environment? Yes. Am I happy that my Christmas shopping budget has been severely reduced? Also, I just realized that I shop way too much during Thanksgiving. And we are officially ending 2024 with no job, no boyfriend, no husband, no kids. And also, I did not lose a single pound in 2024.
Today, I got fired from my job. And it's all because of that girl, Maya. Man, she's seen the stuff that I was posting on social media. And since the day I started that job, I knew she had some hate in her heart for me. You know, I seen it coming, honestly. I seen it coming. I put in 12-hour days, 16-hour days, man. I would stay extra for this company, man. The point of that is to show you guys that you are replaceable at all times. Today, you can go from being happy to being instantly depressed if they fire you from your job. So, honestly, man, if you know that you're gonna get fired from your job, or if you feel as if somebody at your job has some animosity towards you and you might end up being fired, bruh, just start looking for a new job today. Even if you are not going to find a new job, or if you don't want to get a new job, you should constantly be looking for new jobs. Your job can fire you in an instant and leave you without rent, without paying your bills, without being able to feed your family, man.
I'm about to get laid off. My manager has to jump in a car right now. As long as I could be.
Hey, Fabio.
Hey, how's it
How
going?
you doing?
Good.
Good. I got some bad news. Unfortunately, you're being impacted by
Yeah.
that. And so today's your last day.
Oh, okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
All right. Well, I hope to talk to you soon.
All right, then. Sounds good. Yeah, we'll do.
Okay. Bye.
All right, see you guys.
Bye.
I knew it.
At this point, finding a new job is literally dehumanizing.
And I think there's like a frustration, not with the company, but I think just with the fact that all of these things that are happening, like I have no control over. Be told that you did nothing wrong, that you're a great worker, you can no longer work is crazy.
I have no idea what this is about. My first suspicion is that I'm getting fired.
What is going on, guys? JC Nita here, property owner, investor, and online content creation dabbler, back with another video. And this video is inspired by a few different events that have occurred to people that are in my life recently, who have been laid off and who have been looking for jobs for a long time. So let's get into it.
On Friday, I was laid off from my job. It was very hard news, especially at this time of year, because that job is the whole reason I've been able to do all of the independent work that I have been doing. Now, I really loved working for those guys. They're an awesome team, and I know it's not a decision they made lightly, but they had to make the tough decision to axe the editorial arm of the company. So it wasn't personal, but it's obviously still a huge bummer. On a personal level, I'm now a little terrified. It was thanks to that job that I had a steady income, and they were so generous in allowing me to continue doing this personal work, which, you know, there's no creator fund in Canada. So I don't make any money off of my TikToks. And then on YouTube, I only have about 5,000 subscribers. And so far I've made $6. And the only place I've really started making some money is through my newsletter, Bubble Pop with Rachel Gilmore. But I also think that these big moments can be a huge launch pad. I have always wanted to start my own media company. I have always wanted to provide a place for people to find good, accountable, accurate, and tough journalism, like a good Canada Land without a horrible person at the top. Right now, I can afford to pay my rent for about the next 2 to 3 months. So I am hoping I can use this time to make my indie career happen.
Okay, so the reason I included this clip is because it is very relatable to the people around me who have experienced layoffs. So actually a couple of people, more than a couple of people who are very close to me in my life have been laid off recently. And Like this person here, they all have other creative endeavors and side businesses that they want to make their main business. And they're looking at their layoffs as an opportunity more so than a setback. So one person who's very, very close to me is trying to launch a digital media company / clothing brands and some other things. They were laid off maybe a week or two ago. And when I found out, I was very sad for them and, you know, worried almost, but they didn't seem too worried. They said they're going to take the next month or two, like she said, and really just go hard and full force into trying to establish their company and make it a actual company. Similar to another person I know, same thing. They have a company that they've been doing on the side and they were laid off, I think a day or two ago. And so now they're gonna take this time, and they are married, so they have their spouse to help pay some of the bills, but they're gonna take this time and they are going to, again, go full force into their company. So I think that some people are looking at these layoffs as an opportunity, as a blessing in disguise. I've heard stories, I'm sure you have as well, where people say, you know, being laid off was the best thing that ever happened to me because it forced me out of my comfort zone. It forced me to take a chance. It forced me to do something that I was too afraid to do before. So I say go for it. If you're in a similar situation, you've been laid off, or even if you're not laid off and you have a goal that you want to start an online content creation, or you want to start your own business or what have you, go for it. There's nothing holding you back, especially if you've been laid off. Now, obviously, if you have to put food on the table, put food on the table. But if you can do both, or if you have that leeway to take a couple months to really go 100% into your endeavor, into your business, into your side hustle, and make it a main hustle, why not?
At this point, finding a job is dehumanizing. I was laid off a year ago in November 2023. And I was lucky enough to find a new job 4 months later. I got my job through a referral. I had a friend that worked at the company that I work at and saw the position and sent it to me immediately, referred me immediately, and so got the job. She has actually since been laid off from the company, and I'm still there. And I've really just been, you know, through supporting her through her finding a new job, and just watching all these layoff videos and having friends that have been laid off. At this point, finding a new job is literally dehumanizing. There are people on LinkedIn, there are people on the internet who are literally begging. They're begging for a job. They've been laid off for 6 months to a year and a half, and they're not finding anything. People are struggling to pay their bills. People are struggling to provide for their families. And folks, these are white collar jobs. These are people who have college degrees, who have master's degrees. It's those of us who were told that if we went to college and, you know, we got our degrees and we did everything, we would be fine and we would be financially successful, only to come into this post-COVID job market, even during COVID, this post-COVID, during COVID job market that is literally cutting people and treating people as if we are just machines. I have so much empathy for people who are looking for a job right now. And it's also not lost on me that I could, you know, be laid off again, unfortunately. I have friends who've been laid off multiple times. And it just feels inhumane at this point to be looking for a job. So if you are looking for a job right now, I hear you. I see you. I was you. I was you for 4 months, which even thinking about even just being laid off for 4 months, that was a lot shorter than a lot of people are currently experiencing. And I was very lucky. But I hear you. I see you. I value you. Stay in the fight because it's really ridiculous out there.
Okay, so she said a lot there, a few big points. One thing she said is that she was only laid off for 4 months, which is a very, very short amount of time, relatively speaking. Again, anecdotally speaking, I know people personally in my life less than 6 degrees of separation who were unemployed for more than 2 years. Now, could you say they didn't try hard enough? Sure. You know, they went back and they skilled up, they learned new skills, they learned new things to make themselves more marketable in the job market, but they were laid off for a long time. And I know other people who were laid off just about that same amount of time, maybe a year, 6 months. For her to be only laid off for 4 months is a very short period of time. Now, what I will say too, she mentioned this as well, a big reason why she was only laid off for 4 months and why she got a job so quickly is because she knew someone. She got a referral. And that's the way to go. Not every job, but I think 90% of the jobs I've had have been through someone I know, through a friend, through a recommendation from a manager, through a colleague, through a friend of a friend, through a friend, someone my mother knows. You know, it's always someone who knows someone. So as opposed to just shooting out resumes to an algorithm. Not to say it doesn't work, but it's just less likely that it works and it takes a lot longer. So that's partly why it only took her 4 months to get the job. Speaking of algorithm, she mentioned that a lot of times it feels like you're a machine when you're applying to these jobs, and that you're a machine to these, or you're not human to these companies who just lay you off. And she has a point. And speaking of machines, AI is coming. AI is going to be another huge force that is going to cause a lot of people to lose their jobs, especially if we don't skill up and learn marketable, in-demand, valuable skills to get employment. And she said about how, you know, we were taught to go to school, get a degree, get an education to go get these white-collar jobs, when a lot of the recession right now is a white-collar recession. There's not a recession in blue-collar jobs. The recession is in office jobs, it's in tech. We've all seen those headlines in tech about people getting laid off left and right, up and down, around and around. It's insane. So it's the white collar jobs where there's a lot of layoffs happening. Not to say that AI is not going to affect the blue collar as well. I mean, obviously if machines replace humans, that's gonna have a big impact on blue collar jobs as well, but you get the idea.
So last night at like 10 o'clock, I got a calendar invite from the COO of my company with just me, the CEO, and him copied on it. So a 3-person meeting. I have no idea what this is about. My first suspicion is that I'm getting fired. I don't know, but I haven't had any warnings before about my performance or anything. So it's just really odd to get a calendar invite out of the blue from the CEO and COO for the following morning. I'm about to join the Zoom meeting and I'm gonna film. Hello.
Hey, Grace.
Hi, how are you guys? Gotcha. Well, honestly, I really enjoyed my time working with you guys. You all have been awesome to work with, I think, the past 9 months. Yeah, just overall really grateful for this experience and wish you guys the best. Thank you guys.
Bye.
Guess I'm a full-time influencer now.
You know what I find funny, and I'm sure we've all thought this, I'm sure you've thought this as well. It's so customary and so, I guess customary is the word, to provide a 2-week notice to give your employer a heads up that you're gonna be leaving. And if you don't, then a lot of times they're gonna mark you as not hireable again. So I know that because I've worked in HR in the past, and I know that there's 2 buckets. One is you're eligible to be rehired, and one is you're not eligible to be rehired. And if you don't give 2 weeks notice, a lot of times you go into the not eligible to be rehired bucket. So I just find it interesting that companies expect that as a show of good faith, or whatever you wanna call it, for employees to give 2 weeks notices. But then on the other side of the coin, they're gonna schedule a meeting at 10 p.m. at night for the next day or whatever she said. Yeah, the next morning, and then tell you that you're being let go. I mean, is there no level of, you know, I'm not one of these guys that's like, oh, you know, tear down corporations, capitalism is bad, and eat the rich. That's not me at all. But I will say that it would make sense to have at least some level of that customary 2 weeks notice on the employer side as well. To be startled or to be caught off guard like this, especially, listen, if you're not a high performer, that's one thing. If you're a poor performer and you've had signs that you're not doing what you need to do and they're giving you warnings, that's way different. But if you're a high performer, which assuming she was, I think she said she was, you would expect to at least have a few days notice. This probably needs to be some kind of shift in culture to where that becomes a thing. That's just my 2 cents. Let me know what you think in the comments.
I got laid off today. It's 12 days before Christmas. Just got married a month ago, so I'm paying for a wedding. And TikTok is being banned in the month. I have so many questions, but I also am so defeated, so I don't even know what questions to ask. And I think there's a frustration, not with the company, but I think just with the fact that all of these things that are happening, I have no control over. Be told that you did nothing wrong, that you're a great worker, you can no longer work. It's crazy. You bust your butt on TikTok and create a platform and a community just for it to get banned in the United States. The fact that all of this is happening all at once is just cruel. It's criminal. If you've ever gone through this, you know it is literally the most devastating feeling, and It feels the worst when there's like no one to blame. At this point, I'm just gonna have to do everything to save every single dollar and try to figure it out. And if you know any remote jobs or any jobs in the Nashville area, people that are hiring, I do sales and marketing. I also have a background in medicine and health, so if you know any connections or any next moves, please let me know. If you're going through this, just know you're not alone. And it's really frustrating and it's really hard and you didn't do anything wrong and you're gonna come out of this like 10 times better.
So in addition to not giving your employees a 2 weeks notice, this is another thing that I take a bit of issue with. The timing of these layoffs. Again, I have multiple people in my inner circle who have been laid off recently. I know businesses have their reasons for why they do things and it's driven by the metrics they use, but it's just odd to me that so many layoffs occur around the holiday season. And I'm sure there must be a reason for it. I could probably look it up. Maybe I'll Google it and put it on the screen or something. But it just seems as though a lot of layoffs come around the holiday season, around Thanksgiving, around Christmas. And it's just like it's a really bad time to be laid off. It's never a good time to be laid off, but just during the time where you're supposed to be celebrating and happy with family and friends and buying Christmas presents as most people do, maybe traveling to see family in different parts of the country or different parts of the world. And now maybe you can't do that because the budget you're gonna use to take that flight or to book the hotel, now you have to repurpose that to put food on the table or to make sure you can survive for the next however many months that you're not gonna be working. So to me, the timing is just it's not good. Again, I don't know whenever there'd be a good time. Would you want to be laid off during the summer? I don't know. But so when I watched this, I was thinking to myself, is there something that can be done? Is there a reason for this? If there's a reason, let me know. Again, maybe someone watching knows why this happens. I'm not in the C-suite to really know what drives that decision and when the timing happens, but I'd be curious to find out.
I have news that I don't want to share with you, but I have to.
Okay, I'm prepared.
And this is why I was telling you yesterday all the things that I said, which 100% are true. I am so proud of you and the work that you've done. As part of the company-wide restructure, we have to eliminate certain roles, and unfortunately, your role has been affected. I really, really enjoyed working with you, and like I've said 100 million times, I feel like a proud mom, like seeing you blossom and turn into this wonderful, wonderful teammate has been nothing short of a true pleasure.
I don't ever look at things like this as like it's happening to me, it's more so happening for me.
Yeah. So again, I'm sorry. I know you're an optimistic person, so it sucks. I'm sorry.
It's all a part of the process. Good to me, I've learned so much. Obviously, like I'm sad to like part ways with the people that I met here, but I don't necessarily have to part ways. I can still talk to them. This might just be that final step that God's like, okay, you're gonna go all in. You need to go all in. Thank you. I really do appreciate you. Thank you. All right. Talk to you later. Bye.
Bye.
Okay, so this is another one of those situations where it's a good example of someone who is now going to take the opportunity. They're looking at their layoff as an opportunity to go all in. I'm not sure what she's going all in, if it's going to be content creation, if she has a business that she runs. I think I did look at her profile and she has a business that she runs. So I'm assuming she says she's going all in, she means that. And again, I've heard many stories, as I'm sure you have, about people who were laid off or something that seemingly bad happened to them turned out to be something that was good because now they had more time and now maybe some people handle adversity differently. Some people are motivated by it, they're driven by it. So I got laid off, okay, no problem. They go pedal to the metal and they kill it, for lack of better words. Where some people, they kind of shrivel up and they go into a shell and they become, they become down, which however you handle it is however you handle it. Again, there's really no right or wrong to it. But it seems like in her case, based upon how she handled the meeting, I mean, now she's looking a little bit sad, I would say. But based upon how she handled the meeting, she seemed like she put a good face on, at least. And it sounded like she had a good relationship with her manager. And it wasn't that she did anything wrong as an employee, but more so like the person said, there was restructuring and her division or unit was affected. So, but again, this is always a good motivator, I think. And again, I'm not in this position, thankfully, so I'm speaking from a point of not sitting in her chair or the chairs of people that are around me, but just looking at their situation and how they're reacting to it. I wonder if I would do the same thing. I wonder if I would say, okay, now I'm going to take this opportunity to go full force into what I'm doing, including this channel, which again, I appreciate you for watching. And if you're enjoying it or you find entertainment from it, feel free to like and subscribe. But if I would go full force to this channel, or if I would, you know, go full force into some other businesses that I'm working on. I don't know. I think I would based upon my personality, but you can never know until you're in a situation, right? So I hope that none of you are going through this. And if you are, stay strong. And again, it could be a blessing in disguise. But with that, guys, I really appreciate you for watching. I really appreciate you for sticking around. If you made it this long and this far, I'd really appreciate if you left a like for the video. It's great for the YouTube algorithm. If you feel so inclined to subscribe. And until next time, make good financial decisions.